But it is. They wrestle him to the ground and pin his arm out flat, forcing his fist open to give access to his left index finger. The dread idea is beating on the door of his mind, demanding to be let in. It's wrong. The shape of it is awful, and it's too big and slick with poison, and he knows that if he lets it in, it'll swamp everything he is, filling his home up with sludge and broken glass. It wants to drown him in it, and he knows it'll replace everything he is with itself. He knows it's taken the rest of the world already, and all of the people around him, and he holds out. And he continues to hold out right up until one of the people pinning him produces a chisel. Overrides everything else. Yes, he says. Yes, he throws the door open. No. I am left to the buzzard in the carrot walk you with your am figure. Here give me our with the you're not now here give me our when you for it. You're not now that everywhere. More evil mess up. No, that everywhere. More evil mess up. Not no matter when. Never know we no, so I believe no, that if we say, oh, messers never. Let on no end. I'm not in it now. I'm a wish there one that we never saw. That's the night is never here. Bescribe the slower. We will snap him over the niche. That must be the ass. I'm surface table ships and snack by your eighth one if sick of them speaking at high. You're always reaching. Mary, making it matter what I name after the song, yes, matter what I heals and all second, yes, matter what is there's enough for Saturday. Oh, yeah. What's guy's knock once read that guy's knock, not see if I ever finished it, not an area, scass play one, so read the yes, you're right below our barrels, not the opposite now, we wished, and I make feel lost. World is ruined. This time the will more stand the gava. This time I leave the but the doesn't be like him what does the yeah, was this it the pro all this say one what yeah said yeah me yeah yeah Roma fazit bis dagil moya Rose the shifty boya Rahi lives this Sydney Mix me dagnis Bis bis niars not it Very nick we are said now we fade up. We smash enough made that was it. Master I got me say. Master no ya. We are. You're singing heavy. Hier verder me das it. I'm papa narshit. Hier stevis nemak. We are. Beautiful things and smash them or cover them with filth. Find delightful people and disfigure. You get there be back. Yeah, who's not weird, we be sorry, get there be back. We get there be back. We get there be back. Oh, frostly for the scalp. Oh, right, where an are of cash. So, was ye in the cash? Oh, right, where an are of cash. You, oh, frostly for the scalp. Oh, right, oh, right. Who are drowning in and driven by Va, who radiate fazla lei man de vein am stomach or I was going me sneeze burns some no milk with my other and follow the way up no said the server remember me yeah Sam Fickus me of was it was Sam Fickus who number in the billions and are so sweet if machine our shit for the engine. I'm good now, the girl one right now. Oh, whatever. Or what far away this guy. Oh, professional. Oh, frostly for the step. Oh, why you were an area of nurse. So was he the nurse? Oh, why you were an area of Sen izierkļus kādmaiņē, sevišķamos sīkņetmasā, sirkāpskās nākņi, lūdznē, sēdlāru, kuri ir pēni drumā, wani apzērti, sēvkskas nākņi, the way you was over to that. Said this year food, that said long in ever from the snow, I really thought either smith. Wayne discussed knocking with outside and where that ring nong out the winner nailer ibna. Ring nong out the winner, anders nary fuel spots if they either sick. Lawyer is a little left eye, you up, unless you just didn't open up. Sabi your eyes down to cover outside me, it's so happily. Says the same there, it's a next, this time has been missing the zero problem with this fellow up. One, not for consistent opposition. Says ya, December whisky yes massa consideration it was not sturgeon but for something that serve your on to look them down I keep up that somewhat signalized in the center of the city. More face even together now we're better from that. It's sure we lesson she and my feet can be fed in and the door locked. Rocks here. You are sure should have fixed the paint up girls in off on Saturday. Yes, unless the within a server, then more than a laugh, yes, you shan't get no wit up. I feel it 60 elsewhere with a blow this year, there's not even this zero, so elsewhere went up. Oh, you never knew that. Royal Shy look like this more than a laugh, but beneath the feet. Reversible. Wait, some market. Yeah, sit there ain't enough on it. Yeah, sit there, enough, sit there, enough, good enough, so I have to think I guess seriously. You have on your sudden, you massive on this. He moves the worship it must Tact and watching. Three wheelers, the three upside down, my upstairs. Snow and so much on It must. Thank you, This last splinter of Adam Wheeler. Oh, why were your fingers? Oh, was more panic was panic. Oh, no machine, yours to the airness, Nihilus, so the life, either was all what chance, so what's in this work against that which it knows to be wrong. It was right near, but there was sickness on it. In the off of us now. What's your feet, nerveless, the I'll be out with the sniffs. The week before half time now. Stop, skill problems and losses. Was the beat, he'll be spelled with the sniffs. Is what was our sniff with less most. So what was lost. Was not far by in this scarf. A ray up there, a narrow, yellow, nourishing sunbeam. He follows it. The application is look right. Send right in there and light so we can all walk on and say, all listening us and listen. Top of the walls. That's the neck. Not so off it. You're with us, so what's the side? I must see, seen it. Need us nowhere with the side. Out of the city. Is what was rocks nearing and live us north. So what was law? Or was law for in this scarf? Oh, for hill. Oh, firstly for this gap. Oh, right, run are your scarce. So was ye in the fairs? Oh, right, run are your scarce. Oh, give me now, myself. Away from the core. As we're in the gracious, as not as an explore wonderful you see the wrong years of the word I really see. Remember always me long was. As we're in the gracious, as not as the explore wonderful you see the law first is God and embers. See, Mama knows, a kind of thread unravels behind him. And infestation. Crazy larfy is one of their own mali bit wats. Great suggestion over my stump said this is being in my master. Black slug drops from his tear duct, falls to the asphalt and shrivels. Regains consciousness on a hard, scrubbed floor in a wide, cool corridor. He is lying against one wall of the corridor, as if tossed there like a rag doll, with his back to the wall and his right arm stretched out, clenched in such a tight fist that his finger joints are hurting. He releases the fist, gasping. Disoriented, aching, he rolls and plants his other hand on the floor. It's then that he discovers what happened to that hand. He reacts as he must react. He clutches the stub where his first two fingers were, and screams and cries hopelessly at the echoing building. Nobody answers him. The last thing he remembers, he was playing Shostakovich. He was flying through it, unimpeded. In his mind he can hear what he was playing. Note perfect, right up to the instant his memory cuts off. And he can't think of what comes next. Instead, that last snippet of incomplete music goes around and around in his head, abruptly ending mid-note and slowly fading back in from a few seconds back. An earworm. He can't jolt himself out of it. He's a stuck record. He can never play again. He tries to make the right shape with his remaining fingers. His hand won't do it. He rubs his eyes with his good hand. He feels like garbage, hungover, dehydrated. He's missing his shirt, and his arms and chest are almost gray with muck. He can never play again. He sits there huddled for a long while, being small and unhappy and lost. He knows he's going to have to move eventually. He's working his way up to it. He looks up the corridor, eyes gradually recovering. He can see all right without his glasses, as long as he doesn't have to do too much reading. He's in a school. There are notice boards, banks of lockers, a rainbow mural. The place is deserted and silent. There is a dull red light coming through the windows in the classroom doors on the far side of the corridor, suggesting that the sun is on that side of the building, rising or setting. He has taught one-off music lessons in one or two schools, but he doesn't recognize this one. With some unease, he examines his bad hand. The stumps on his fingers are lumpy and uneven and have healed badly. A mass of scar tissue and scabs, and no stitches in sight. As if the digits were removed with great imprecision. Hacked off or bitten off. It troubles him that he can't remember. His memory is normally so sharp and clear, he thinks he's thinking clearly, but when he concentrates and tries to access the lost time, something in that gap pushes him back. A fierce red heat. It occurs to him that though his severed digits have healed very badly, they have healed. They certainly aren't bleeding, though there's a continual ache. How long would that take? How much time has he lost? What the hell happened? Way down the corridor, away from the classrooms, an office door is standing ajar. In that office, a telephone starts to ring. The office is poky and dimly lit, piled high with paperwork. Two small desks and battered office chairs. He finds the ringing voice and picks up. Hello? The voice is synthesized. Female. Mr. Wheeler? Yes. Who's this? With a measured tone, the robotic voice replies. Mr. Wheeler, you have been sick for an extended period of time. I will be pleased to answer all of your questions soon. But not now. There is a woman in room WI6. She is dying. I'm not a doctor. I know. There is nothing you can do to save her. Nevertheless, you must go to her. Now. I feel like I'm not the best person to do that. I'm not in the best place today. It has to be you. There is no one else. Who is she? There is a pause, as if the entity on the other end of the phone is unable to choose her words. She is significant. Go now, please. She does not have much time. Wheeler is at a loss. He doesn't seem to have the strength to not do what he's told. He doesn't have any other direction to go in. The phone handset is corded, or he'd take it with him. He frets a little about not being able to take it with him. You'll still be here? Yes. He leaves the handset off the hook, and he goes down the silent corridor. He finds the door numbered WI6 and peeks through the safety glass into the orange-red lit classroom, squinting at the sunlight which floods it from the far windows. It's still not clear to him whether it's dusk or early morning. There is nobody in the classroom that he can see. He opens the door and goes in. There are elaborate, colorful biology posters and coursework displays, desks in disarray, scattered books and felt-tip pens, brightly colored backpacks. He takes a pace or two up the central aisle, not seeing what he thinks he should be seeing, and turns around and jumps startled. There is a huge chalk sketch on the blackboard, a highly realistic rendering of a woman's head and shoulders. He could swear the board was blank when he walked in. The image is moving. It's as if it's being drawn and erased and redrawn 5 or 10 times per second. The woman looks about his age. Her face is framed within masses of hair, although with the negative color effect of being drawn in white chalk on black background, it's difficult to tell what color her hair ought to be. The one splash of color comes from the thick, bright blue frames of her glasses. She looks distraught and she seems to be saying something. And though there is no sound, there is text written beside her. Madam? He says, yes. She says, I remember everything. And then the words scrub themselves out and become, I can't forget a single minute of it. More lines come out. Each new thing she says erases the old. I know everything he did now. I was blind and he ran rings around me. I made mistake after mistake. He killed everybody I love except for you. After this, her lips stop moving. The last phrase lingers for longer than the others, before scrubbing itself blank. Wheeler spends a long moment absorbing the final statement, turning it around and trying to figure out where, if anywhere, it slots into his life. He has never seen this woman before. But is that true? He studies her features and his memory cycles around, and he unearths something deep and significant in his past. A bizarre encounter he hasn't devoted thought to in what feels like a century. Her, that one time at the hospital, remember? You gouged a chunk out of your foot backstage after a show. You spent half a night in the emergency room and she was there and you got talking. God, who was she now? Uh, government agent? Or at least in that sphere. She was unreal. On a whole other level from me. Tough, skilled, beautiful, sharp, like a sapphire. We talked about music, film scores, and the trash which passed for TV sci-fi those days. And David Lynch. And it was, well, you don't know that early, but it was promising. But nothing happened. They patched up my foot and we never went anywhere. Did we? Marion, he breathes. He almost got it. He holds a hand up, fearful as if motioning for her to stop. No, this can't be. I sent you away because I was trying to save your life. He remembers. It reconnects all at once. The years upon years of inextricable shared life. There's too much energy there. It crashes through him, violently. It's like grabbing a frayed electrical line. It's like being shot. He stumbles backwards, disbelieving. He never imagined how much he was missing. No, 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 Marion. And it didn't work. What happened to you? I should have been there. And he ruined the world. And now you have to live in hell. Where are you? Someone said that you were dying. I'm already dead. I'm the memory. But now the memory is dying too. He's found his way into heaven, and he's ruining it, like the earth. What do you need? I'll stop him. I'll help you. I'll do anything I can. I I love you. She says nothing, and after a moment or two, Wheeler realizes that her image was frozen. He goes up to it and peers at the chalkwork. Hesitantly, with his right hand, he reaches out to the heavy chalk shading of her hair and touches it with one finger. He leaves a dark dot. The chalk dust is real on the board and on his finger. She's just a drawing. She's gone. It's all gone. He blacks out. He regains consciousness on a hard, scrubbed floor at the front of the school classroom. He is lying there as if tossed beneath the blackboard like a rag doll, one arm stretched out along the wall. He rolls over, gasping, and plants his other hand on the floor. It's then that he discovers what happened to that hand. Dear God, he says, staring, uncomprehending at the mangled stubs. In a strange, abstract way, the loss of his first two fingers just doesn't connect with him. It's as if he woke up already accepting it. What the hell happened? He compares his left hand with his right, which, mercifully, is pristine. He flexes them, mirroring the action the best he can. There could be a little nerve damage in his left hand. He'll have to talk to a specialist, but he should be able to wield a bow. I suppose I'm playing left-handed from now on, he says to himself. Good God, how long is it going to take him to get to the same level of proficiency? A good while. He thinks back. The last thing he can remember is playing Shostakovich. He was flying through it. And he was having no trouble. He can almost hear what he was playing. Note perfect. Right up to the instant the memory abruptly cuts off. But he can't think of what came next. Instead, the final snippet fades in again from a few seconds back, repeats itself right up to the cutoff point, and stops, almost with an audible click. It's an earworm. He feels like a stuck record. So, he does what he always does, hums a different song to displace it. He feels strange. He is hungover, dehydrated. He's missing his shirt, and his arms and chest are almost gray with muck. And he is dying, positively dying, for a cigarette. But he feels strangely upbeat, as if he's recovered from a prolonged illness, as if the worst is over. He gets up, eyes gradually recovering. He can see all right without his glasses, as long as he doesn't have to do much reading. The classroom is silent, lit red-orange from a sun which could be rising or setting. There are elaborate, colorful biology posters and coursework displays. Desks in disarray, scattered books and felt-tip pens, brightly colored backpacks. The blackboard is blank. Wheeler has taught one-off music lessons in 1 or 2 schools, but he doesn't immediately recognize this one. Way down the corridor from the classroom, an office door is standing ajar. In that office, a telephone starts to ring. The office is poky and dimly lit, piled high with paperwork. There are 2 small desks, each with a beaten-up office chair. Each desk has a phone, one of which is off the hook. He puts it back, obeying a hardwired instinct to tidy up. It's the other phone which is ringing. Of course. Hello? The voice is synthesized. Female. Mr. Wheeler? Yes. Who's this? With a measured tone, the robotic voice replies. Before we begin, may I ask you a quick question? Does the name Marion Hutchinson mean anything to you? Not as such. Should it? The synthesized voice makes it impossible to tell whether the caller is dismayed at this, indifferent, or relieved. No. My name is Ulrich. I'm part of an organization called the Foundation. The objective of the Foundation was to prevent what has happened from happening. Wheeler turns around, suddenly afraid, but there is nothing behind him. And what, he asks with some trepidation, has happened? The world's gone to hell, Mr. Wheeler. Well, bad luck there. There is a long pause. Long enough that Wheeler wonders to what insane degree he might have understated this situation. Yes, very bad luck, Mr. Wheeler. We need your help. And by we need your help, I mean I need your help. Because there is no one left of the Foundation but me, and I have no one but you, and I am dying. I'm very sorry to hear that, Miss Ulrich, Wheeler says. He finds that he means it. He chooses his next words with some care. What do you need? I need you to find a man named Bartholomew Hughes. Please take a seat. I will explain everything.